I told you there was something I was missing there. If you're going to start using that, though, then that tells me that you know quite a few people that meet that description. Definitely. Well, you need to introduce them to all of, actually, we'll just move on now to the beginning of the show. Thank you for that, Josh.
Welcome.
All right. Well, good morning. It is the morning grind. It is the grind before Thanksgiving.
That's right.
Yeah, so I'm super happy to be here. We've all been looking terms up in the Urban Dictionary this morning. Anyway, so now we'll start with the show. Okay, so the topic of today's show is Happy ThisGiving.
Ooh.
Yeah, we'll get to that in just a minute. Happy ThisGiving. Yes, but before we get started, as always, and of course it's, the week before Thanksgiving, so you have to start with 60 seconds of gratitude, as you know.
A lot of people in our office aren't liking and sharing.
Well, then I am not thankful for them. I'm not thankful for them. No. Okay, so Thanksgiving is this week. We've been talking before the show for a few minutes about all the different Thanksgiving-related sorts of things. But let's go around and talk about what we're thankful for this morning. Allie, go ahead.
I'm excited to spend time with my family this week because I feel like we're never on the same page. So,
Allie, do you have one Thanksgiving this week?
4.
You have 4 Thanksgivings this week? Man, that's amazing.
Wow.
I'm so happy
Lots
for
of
you.
food.
Yeah, lots of food. Josh, what are you thankful for this morning?
Well, I don't like to prey on people's downfalls.
Okay, all right. Well, let's go ahead and kick somebody while they're down. Okay.
That Matt Canada, the Steelers offensive coordinator, was fired this morning.
Really?
Yes.
So why was he fired?
Because he sucks.
All right. Well, there you go. So this week for Thanksgiving, we're going to dance on someone's grave. Okay, all right. Off to a good start. Josh, what are you thankful for this morning?
I'm thankful they finally got that door fixed up front. Every time I'd open it and it would just slam. They finally got it fixed. So I'm thankful that whoever did it got the job done and it's nice and smooth shut.
Troy, shout out to Troy.
Nice.
Thankful
Shout
for
out to Troy. Okay, yeah, Troy.
He fixes a lot of stuff around here, so I'm thankful for that.
Man, this place would just be a rattle trap if it wasn't for that guy,
Yeah,
wouldn't it?
it
Yeah,
was.
very good.
I love Troy.
Thankful for Troy this week, man. I'm with you too because it was shocking. If you didn't know about it or if you'd forgotten about it and that door would slam behind you,
Oh, yeah.
that's pretty brutal, right?
It pissed me off, to be honest.
Right.
It angered me.
It's kind of one of those things where it's like, you know what? We deal with rejection enough in our daily lives. Do I really need an actual slamming door behind me everywhere I go?
Right, yeah.
That doesn't work, right? I mean, it should be the opposite. It should be like we walk towards the door and it just
Yeah.
Yep.
opens
Yeah.
up, right?
It's a straight up pain in the ass.
Exactly. We'll get Troy on that.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, all salespeople when they approach the door, just let it open.
Automatically.
Ed, what are you thankful for?
I'm thankful for Tommy's new house because that's where we're going to be celebrating our holidays.
What? Rigsby Court? Is that okay? All right. So,
I don't think we're going over there for Thanksgiving.
oh man, I've never seen Ed so dejected. Oh. He loves the Shay Davidson, right?
Yeah.
Have you named the house yet, Tommy? Tommy, have you named the house yet? Is it Shay Davidson?
We have not.
That,
We need to.
yeah.
GT Oasis.
We do have the Good Time Tommy Bar and Grill in the back there.
Good Time Tommy Bar and Grill. All right.
That's the Man Canyon, though.
Okay. Man Canyon.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
Davidson Oasis.
All right. I like that. Okay, so that's going to be our next thing is to name Tommy's house. Before the end of the year, we're going to come up with a good name.
Money Pit.
What's that?
Money Pit.
I don't think we're going to go with that one, but I'm with you. Okay, so obviously everybody is very thankful this morning. The topic of the show is Happy ThisGiving. The reason I thought that would be a good topic for the show is because this is a great opportunity for us to spend a few minutes also reminding ourselves about, again, from the last show, we talked about the duality that we deal with throughout our lives, but I want to dig into that a little bit for a few minutes about how that kind of plays out in our working lives as we're going through doing things. So have you ever heard the expression, a house is not a house is a home?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, have you ever heard the expression, some people sell houses, some people sell units?
Mm-hmm.
You ever heard that before?
Yeah.
Okay. So what are we talking about? We're talking about the difference between whether you're selling houses as commodities and assets or dealing with the space that is someone's home. Correct? Okay. So do you think a house is an asset, a commodity, a dwelling place? What would you say, Josh, if I just said, what does someone's house mean to them, or what does someone's home mean to them? Now, keep in mind,
Well,
you're spending a tremendous amount of your very youthful, very exciting life helping people with this experience, living with, buying and selling, with this experience. So, how would you describe that?
I think it depends on their goals. I think some people's houses are assets, like maybe a first house. It's not one that they love as much, and they use it kind of as a stepping stone. And then some people who have beautiful palaces, like
Well, let's define what is an asset, what is a liability.
Great question. Okay, so let me ask the question to you again. Your clients, when you just kind of, and it's not every single one, but just off the top of your head, do you think to yourself, hey, I'm selling this person a stock, mutual fund, an inanimate object, a home? Like, what do you think about that?
I don't think it's something that's like like a stock. Like they're doing it just to gain equity.
So then why do we consistently tell them about the price of it? Because
They can either afford it or not.
part of it's the affordability, right? Okay, Josh, what do you think? When you just think in general, let's take without naming names, let's talk about a person that we're working with right now that's
Well,
closing in a couple of weeks.
I'll name my mom and dad. They've been in their house for 25 years.
Yep.
There's an emotional attachment to that house. That is their home. That is where they go to, after every day they go lay their heads in the if they were
When
to
they're
sell-
like, that Josh is driving us crazy. Why do
Yeah.
we ever have him?
Yeah, exactly.
Just
But that's where they, like if I told them, hey, your house is gonna be gone tomorrow, they would cry. They would be very emotional. So I think that's,
Yeah. So do we think about that a lot when we're running through the per square foot prices and the mortgage rates and all that? We don't. It's hard to make sense of both of those at the same time. Tommy, what would you say when you think about the thousands of people that are going to buy and sell houses with Good Time Tommy this year, last year, next year? When someone just says, "Hey, I'm in the business of real estate," are you thinking more asset, more home? What are your thoughts?
I think by definition, owning a home is a liability, because an asset is something that pays you, liability is something that you pay for. So we got to dig a little bit deeper. You can turn a liability into an asset. How could I make my house an asset?
bring people over
Bring
that
people over. Now, why would I want to bring people over?
so they can see that house and they start dreaming they want to buy a
Get
house.
inspired.
Well, but why do I need people?
People got money.
Because that's where all of our money comes from. It comes from other people. So you can make your house, you can make it an asset. It more than likely is a liability, but it can be an oasis. Was that one of your other ones?
Could be.
I mean, to us, at the end of the day, it's an oasis for us. I love the place, but it is, unless I work that house, unless it's like a prostitute that don't ever go into work.
Okay. All
So-
right.
Really good.
So,
analogy.
All right.
I like
so I've got to use that house to perform. You see what I'm
Okay.
saying?
I do.
Or I'm just a broke whore.
All right. Ed,
Work
what are your
out, let it
thoughts?
work you.
Here's what I think is interesting. After hearing that description and knowing that Ed's only desire in life is to get to Tommy's house for Thanksgiving, I'm wondering where that works together. I'm not really sure. But what are your thoughts when you're doing ISA stuff and you're talking to people and you're thinking about, hey, I've got this person on the phone. They're interested in buying, selling, involving housing. What are you thinking? What are your thoughts? Are you thinking,
I'm selling people knowledge, pride, and a new way of life.
okay, Allie, what about yourself?
I would say kind of like Josh was saying, it depends on the type of client you're working with, but majority of the time, I'd say I'm selling someone something to be proud of.
Okay, so tell me about Thanksgiving. What would you say? What would you say? Like if someone says, like, we've grown up with the story. Where, hey, it's Thanksgiving week. What pops into your head? What do you think Thanksgiving is? What's the beginning of Thanksgiving? What is that? Now, there's a lot of stories of, well, it's the part of, founding of America, but then the indigenous peoples have an issue with the, there's all that stuff, right? But just what comes to your mind?
I think it's a time to spend with family and eat good food.
Where do you do that?
Usually at my grandparents' house.
Grandparents' house. How long have they owned their house?
15
Exactly.
years.
Yeah.
They're looking to sell.
Ed, what do you think about Thanksgiving? What comes to your mind?
A lot of fakeness.
Fakeness?
Yeah. Just people that,
Dang.
if you want to see your
Right,
family,
man.
you should be able to see them any other day. And it's just like a day that people almost feel forced to go be around family. And also, the food's not that great, in my opinion.
Right. No, a lot of people
Happy
don't like.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, a lot of people fall in that same boat. That's why, there's a lot of family traditions that for Thanksgiving they go to a movie and Chinese restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about
In my
you?
opinion, Thanksgiving is tradition. Now,
Tradition.
what I mean by that is, I look like we all maneuver more excited whenever we have something to look forward to, and whenever we're looking forward to tradition like Thanksgiving or something, we just get happier. So like this week, I'm very happy because Thanksgiving I go to my parents' house, we shoot guns, we spend the whole day with each other, tell stories, watch movies. It's just a fun day. I
Yeah.
look forward to that.
Yeah,
Man, what-
don't get me
So-
wrong.
so-
I love seeing family, but it's just like I feel like there should be more than just one day as an excuse for us to all get together.
I totally agree with that. What about yourself? What about Thanksgiving? Just comes to mind. Thanksgiving.
I would say it's a good time to see family that you haven't seen in a while, because a lot of times Christmas and Thanksgiving and just the major holidays are times that you get to see some of that extended family.
All right. So couple of questions. One, what does all of that mean to you? Even Ed, if you're not a big Thanksgiving fan, it still is because you have the desire to be with your family in a real way. Right, so
I'm
even
a fan because of the positivity. Like, everybody's happy, everybody's joyful, looking forward to Christmas. I love that aspect of it. It's just, I think that, we should see, as a family, you should see each other more often than just 1 to 2 days a year because it's a holiday.
That's true. That's true. If you want to be with your family, I get that for sure. Now, if you're thinking about somebody buying a house and you're trying to help them find that place, how many of you, honestly, and I can say I've done this for 27 years, and I very rarely do this or have done this. I should do it more. But how many times do you work with a client and then you see that client celebrating Thanksgiving in the home that you're thinking about trying to find them to help them purchase?
I think the last one I did because she said that was her plan.
Because it was coming up on Thanksgiving, that was her plan. Okay, so what if you thought about that every single time?
Well, first of all, I've got me there, Drew there, Tommy there. It's kind of like,
No, I'm talking about the individual customers.
Yeah, like
do you ever think about your customers? Like if you ever think about, what is that going to look like when they're with their husband, their wife, their children, and the Christmas tree is up?
I don't think about it during the year, but like later in the year I do, because like Tamia, I did have a thought like it's really cool she's getting in this house at this time of year because she'll get to spend Thanksgiving, Christmas.
oh
she'll
yeah,
get to
that's right. Like Tiffany, her goal was to be in the house by
Yeah.
Christmas.
So now think that's all about to happen to these people.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's like that's cool. That it's like
That's what you guys did.
yeah, you feel responsible for it.
Yeah.
It's a good feeling.
That's what you guys did. You get that?
Powerful.
Think about that. And then think about how thankful you are for them, not because they put money in your bank account, but because the connection of those two things is super important.
Yeah,
They could not do it without you.
right.
But you also could not give that gift without them.
it's cool. Like to me, I'm just thinking to me, like it all sprouted from a phone call, like a cold call that he made.
Yeah,
And
think
now
about
she's
that.
in a beautiful home with her family. She's gonna be able, yeah.
Think about that. Okay, now, let me ask you, Josh. All those things that you were talking about with your parents, their home, where they've been, where they've lived, the life, all that stuff. Can you quantify that in a per square foot number?
No, hell no.
Not even close.
Can't put a dollar amount on it.
Not even close.
I'd go broke.
So what my urging for you guys is, as we start to get towards the end of this year and we have Thanksgiving in front of us, I urge you to think about Thanksgiving as this giving. And this giving represents the fact that you are going to help people achieve something that they get to achieve in this country. One of the main reasons immigrants talk about wanting to come to America is that they can own property protected by law. I had a neighbor that lived behind me in the alley behind me when I was in my 20s, and she was from a third world country, and I won't name the country, but long story short, it's not a country that you would really be like, oh, of course, crazy things happen there. I mean, it was just not America, right? And she was here, and she was working at Target, and she was behind on her credit card bills, and her husband were trying to rear a small child, and just all these things, right? And I asked her one time, I found out that when they went back to her home country to visit, her dad was an attorney in that country, and they owned a ton of land. They had servants. I mean, they lived, what people, when you get into comparing lives, are like, wow, that's the bee's knees. Well, I mean, what else could you want, right? The top of the top. And I asked her, I was like, so why would you rather be here struggling to pay your credit card bills than there, where you've got people that are waiting on you hand and foot, so on and so forth? And one of the things that she said was, there, you never know how long that's going to last. Like, literally, the local police or local military or whomever those people may be can literally just come take everything you've got. Could you imagine that happening in America?
Would not be good.
No. I mean, I guess you could try, but the point is we have property that's protected by law. And we all together agree that is what creates opportunities to celebrate Thanksgiving and to be together. So the reason I tell you this is as you're getting out those written business plans that you've all got, right, that I had you write down, you start to get ready for the year, then a lot of things are going to come into your mind. A lot of technical things, a lot of things about dollars and cents, and a lot of the technical information that you need to be able to serve your clients. That all is super important. You need to know what the per square foot price is. You need to know what a mortgage payment calculating is. You need to know all those things. But the thing I would tell you to really keep in mind is that the most important thing that you're going to do and the way that you're going to be the most successful helping the most people is by realizing that you cannot put Thanksgiving into a per square foot number.
Facts.
Okay? Your life is more than a mortgage payment. So it's your job to find a way to overcome those things to help people get to the place that they really want to be, which is home, hearth. That's what we do. That's what we do. Okay. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Van, take us out.